We begin with breaking news from Poland, where a conservative challenger has won the presidential vote runoff after a knife-edge election. Official results released early on Monday showed Karol Nawrocki the winner with 50.9% of the vote. His rival, Warsaw's Liberal Mayor Rafal Trzaskowski, earned 49.1%. But earlier exit polls were neck and neck, and both candidates declared victory at different points during the night. The post of president in Poland is largely ceremonial, but Nawrocki's victory now sets him up for a showdown with the country's pro-EU government.
When the polls closed, the election was too close to call, and it seemed as if there was still everything to play for both Liberal Warsaw Mayor Rafal Trzaskowski and Conservative historian Karol Nawrocki. The election evening turned into a rollercoaster ride for both candidates. A first exit poll showed Trzaskowski slightly ahead, reason enough for him to claim victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, we won. I think that this phrase will become part of the Polish language and Polish politics, on a razor's edge.
Nawrocki was undaunted and he refused to concede. 2 hours later, he got a boost when a second exit poll indicated that he was in the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are going to win. We are going to win tonight.
The presidential runoff pitted Trzaskowski, a liberal pro-EU politician, against Nawrocki, a conservative historian backed by the right-wing Law and Justice Party and aligned with US conservatives, including President Donald Trump. The outcome to determine whether Poland takes a more nationalist path or pivots decisively toward liberal democratic norms. Outgoing President Andrzej Duda had publicly backed Nawrocki. His victory means Conservatives will continue to have significant influence over whether Prime Minister Donald Tusk's centrist government can fulfil its agenda, because the President has the power to veto laws.
Let's get more now from DW's Alexandra von Nahmen, who is reporting for us from the Polish capital, Warsaw. Alexandra, the Polish Electoral Commission declared early this morning that the Conservative candidate Nawrocki has won the presidential election. What more can you tell us about this very tight race?
Well, we have to say that it's a very narrow victory for Karol Nawrocki, which is no surprise at all, because the race was a close one from the beginning, and it was clear that either of the candidates had a good chance of winning. And I was quite surprised to see Nawrocki's opponent, the Liberal candidate Rafał Trzaskowski, yesterday evening when the first exit poll was published, showing him with a slight ahead of his opponent. He took to the stage, he declared victory, and I really thought this is too early, and we then have seen a night of emotions on both sides after what has been described as a very brutal and polarizing campaign here in Poland.
Tell us a bit more about Karol Nawrocki. Who is he, and what is his agenda going to be?
He is a historian. He is the head of the Polish Institute of Remembrance and a quite new figure to the Polish national politics. He is an independent but was endorsed by the right-wing Law and Justice Party. And he is a candidate who represents himself as somebody who is eager to uphold traditional Catholic values and goes full hardline on migration. He is somebody who is very critical of the European Union, and he wants to focus on Poland's relationship with the US. He went to the US, he met with the US President, with Donald Trump, and was, as he said, endorsed by him. His campaign was overshadowed by many scandals, reports about him being involved in hooligan football brawls and accusations of links to criminals, but all of that did not bother his base.
So what does this result mean for Poland's political path looking forward? I mean, how much influence does the president really have?
Well, the president represents this state, but he also has a say in foreign policy, and he also can veto legislations put forward by the government. And that is, of course, a key problem, because Nawrocki is a candidate supported by the opposition, and he is very likely to make it much tougher for the government of Prime Minister Tusk to implement the reforms that they were promising. Let's take the topic of abortion. Poland has a highly restrictive abortion law, and the government wants to change it, but it's very likely that Nawrocki, as a pro-life candidate, would block that. Let's take the topic of the rule of law. That is something that the government has also promised to strengthen. Then they want to end the politicization of the Polish court system. Nawrocki is likely to block it, and that could put Poland on a collision course with the European Union that is demanding reforms there.
Speaking about Europe, what does this result mean for Europe-Poland ties?
Well, from Brussels' perspective, it is no good news for the relationship between Poland and the European Union, because, as I said, Nawrocki is somebody who is against more European integration, and it will be much difficult for the government to continue with their pro-European course with him in office. Let's take the topic of defense, for instance. As you know, Europeans understand that because of the war, Russia's war on Ukraine, and because they see the US under Donald Trump not as a reliable partner anymore. They want to do more to strengthen their European defense capabilities. Nawrocki is somebody who believes that Poland is only safe when it is protected by the United States. He does not believe in things like a European army. So I guess it will be difficult for Poland to continue to play an important and constructive role on the European stage anymore.
Alexandra von Nahmen reporting from Warsaw. Thanks so much.
Thank you.